Okay, hello. So this is the Phasor Handler version 2. Not all here, 2.3. So today I'll be showing a bit about how you can use this tool for your everyday analysis. It's going to be a really quick tutorial video. So first thing you want to do is, of course, you add the directories here. For one, I put the directories in work, Phasor Handler. Okay, so I got some test data here. This is from Yi. Some really nice test data. So I'll be doing it all for all of this. Yep, as you can see, there's 5 of them. It's the first step is the usual. Just keep this on an interleave and you can just run conversion. So what the conversion tab does is it reads the metadata and it outputs you the metadata in a form of a JSON and a pickle file. So next time you want to do some analysis, you already have the metadata for it. You don't have to go searching for the metadata again in the YML file. So as you can see now, if it's done, it says batch conversion finished. You go to registration. Um, there's a lot of parameters here that you might want to change. For one, I don't really change anything here. This is from my experience. I think this is already pretty good for most studies. Maybe this thing you want to change here. So this is the FS, the femtosecond, I believe. Depending on your GCamp, this might be different. But as far as I know, for everyone in the lab, it's around 10 here. And we just run registration on all directories. This might take a while. So what this does is it's a wrapper for Suite2P, and it does the motion correction using the Suite2P tool. And now what's new is that even when it's registering, you can just move on to the first level. So this is still running, but it's running in the background. So you can move directly to the first level. And you can click on the directory. So here we can see one of the samples. Because this has not been motion corrected using Suite2P, so what you're seeing right now is the raw data. You can see the Z projection. So this is standard deviation. I usually use this to get a better view of the cells. There's some really nice cells. The max projection, the mean projection. And the new thing from this version 2.3, I believe, is now there's the rectangular and the freeform drawing. So usually with the circular, you just draw like this, right? And then what you can do is you can you can right click and drag to translate it, right? So you draw like this, for example. You right click and drag it, like around like this. Or you can also press Y here, Y to toggle. So you press Y, and then you can rotate it around like this, right? And then if you press Y again, you can translate it around. So you press Y to rotate it, and then you just right click and drag. That's how you rotate. And then if you press Y again, you can translate it, right? But now what's new is that there's freeform now. So it's not just a circle. You can draw anything. Like for example, I can make a really funky drawing here. Like yeah, see, you can draw pretty much any form of ROIs. And to clear, so you have a lot of ROIs here. To clear, you can also press the shortcut Control L. Oh, yeah, there we go. So by pressing Control L, you can clear all the ROIs. You can press yes here. Or alternatively, if you can't remember that, you can just press all of this. You press ROI1, Shift to ROI3, so Shift click, and then just remove ROIs. So that's how you can remove everything. Let's see. Okay, so the batch registration is finished. It shows also the size now. So let's reload this. There we go. Now you can see the difference. Once it's registered, it will say show raw or show the registered. So by default, it's gonna show you the registered TIFF file. So this has already been registered by the Suite2P, and this is the raw data. There's a bit of a difference. You can't really see it if the data is good because it's not motion corrected as much, but you can clearly see it. So let's go with the registered one, and now we can start drawing basically. So first, let's say we draw for this one in free form. And then you press R to add, or you can press add ROI. I usually just press R. Another thing that the freeform does is that it completes your drawing. So when you're drawing like this, for example, and then midway, you let it go. It's just gonna draw a straight line to the beginning. So which is really neat, I feel. It's gonna be really useful, especially when you're drawing like this, right? You don't have to draw the whole way. You just release it, and it's gonna connect it back to the first point. All right. And again, as I said, the new feature here is that if you press an ROI here, and then you shift click under ROI, you can select multiple ROIs, and you can right click and drag to move all of them. So you can see it's moving here, right? So, or you can move it here. And then to finalize it, as usual, you press R. That moves the entire ROI, okay? And to escape the multi-selection, just press escape. So ESC, there we go. And now we're back to single ROI moving, okay? Uh, And then let's say we have a couple more ROIs. So let's say we have multiple ROIs here. Okay. And now if we go to the save ROIs, we can also control, so CTRL and then click. As you can see, this selects multiple, but not all of them, just the ones you clicked. And then to escape, and then to, if you want to move them, you press R, and then you press ESC, escape. And this goes back to the normal mode, to the single selection mode, as I like to call it. Okay? But you don't have to always select from the saved ROIs. You can also just select directly from the screen. So as you know, in the previous Phasor Handler, you can right click and you can move it anywhere, right? But now, while you're clicking on this, you can also shift and click another one. That selects both of them. Shift and click another one, and that selects 3 of them. Right click, okay? And then this effectively moves all 3 of them, right? To unselect them, you can shift click on them again. This unselects them, so this back to 1. Or you can also just press escape to not select anything. Okay, and then now there's also view metadata. It's not complete yet, but it at least shows you like the FOV size, the pixel size. This is correct. The raw JSON, if you prefer that. The show scale bar here to show how big the FOV is. And what else? Oh, and there's the contrast now as well. So if we turn this off, the standard deviation, you can play around with the contrast here. So what this is, the min PTH here on the brightest and contrast, that is the percentile of the intensity. Okay, so the min PTH means that any value below the 1th percentile of the recording will be set to 0, whereas the max is any value above this value here, or the 99.5th percentile, will be set to 1. So it effectively normalizes your brightness and contrast. So this is very similar to ImageJ, and it's a bit hard to explain. I can just show you a histogram here instead. It's pretty small, but you can see a bit. So here, the purple one is the max PTH. The cyan one is the min PTH. So if you lower this, you can see that the right line there is moving, right? So what it does is it makes it brighter. It has a much bigger effect than the min PTH. If you go over the min PTH, you have to scroll quite a lot to get any differences. It makes it dimmer effectively. And let's see if we can get it really, really high. Yeah, you can see now it's much more sparse, the green light, right? And then, of course, if you're done, you can just press reset here. This is for channel 1, and this is for channel 2. So if you do this one for the channel 2, just scroll here. You can see that the red one is now glowing. But yeah, I usually just stick with the standard deviation. So again, to clear your selection, Control L and clear. All right, and now let me show a brief demonstration on how my workflow would be. So for example, I'm on this sample. I will circle this, right? I can move it along, and then I can press Y and then drag it to make sure it fits. Y again to translate it. Press R, and then for this one, and then what else? This one, and then this one, and then just keep doing it for all of them, right? And now I already have 4 ROIs, and of course you can see their intensity here, which is quite nice actually. These are some really nice recordings from Fangi. And then I can go to another directory, and it preserves the ROIs. Okay, let's use this one as an example actually. So let's redraw. So this one's a neuron here. And then this one, let's say, and then this one, and then we can, a bit of a free form ROI here. We can draw it ourselves as well. Okay, so now we have 4 ROIs, right? And then we extract them. So to export, you just export trace here. You can export to any.txt, and then you can also go to another directory. So this is the same, except you can see that it moves a bit. It's a bit translated. So what I would do is first I would save this ROI. So save ROIs first. So this is the ROI positions. Let's say sample 1, right? So it's saved. And now we go to sample 2. And what I would do is I would select all of them. So just go here, save ROIs, and Control A. And I would move them a bit, like maybe here, right? And then press R. There. And now you save these ROIs as ROIs position sample 2, right? So they're the same, right? This is also 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's just slightly translated so that you can get the most accurate sort of a recording here. Anyways, yeah, you can see that it's, yeah. And of course, you can play around with the limits. So if you notice here, the limits here, there's 0.4 max, 0.0 min. Um, the max and the min limit are adjusted according to the max and min values of that ROI. So for this ROI, the max is going to be 0.1, so the y limit is going to be 0.1, and then the min is going to be negative 0.10. But then if you move to another one, this might be different. So you can see the max is 0.05 and the min is negative 0.05. This is auto, basically. The min and the max are auto generated. What you can do instead is you can define a value. So in my case, I like to be negative 0.5 and 0.5, right? And this way, you can see that the bar, the min and the max limit are not moving now. So you can compare between ROIs pretty much. That's pretty much it. You can again you can change the formula to FG per FOG or anything you want. You can turn off the show composite to show the channels. So this is channel, sorry, this is channel 1 and this is channel 2, right? But I just stick with composite. And then the last thing I want to mention is about the second level. So as you know, we can do this and then we can export the trace here, right? And then rytrace.txt and you have the traces. But if you just want a quick overview of everything, you can go to second level here. Wait, sorry. Let me clear that first. So if you just draw like this, draw like this, draw like this, you can see second level here, and you can directly see all of the ROIs and the stimulation time. But in the data, in the metadata, there's no stimulation time. You can play around with the min and max limits. So right now the min is negative 0.1. I can set this to, let's say, negative 0.5, and then the max to 0.5, which is okay. And then the frame range as well, I want it only until the 500th, starting from the 400. So you can see how much this might be useful. So if you have a 1 minute recording, you can cut it up into pieces, like let's say from 150 frame to 250 frame. There, you can see a bit of a, yeah. But basically, you can play around with the frame range as well. You can reset the limit as well, and reset everything pretty much. And yeah, but in general, if you want to make a professional looking plot, of course, you don't just use this. You export the TXT and then you analyze it using, I don't know, Excel or something. But another issue that I've been seeing a lot is when you move to another folder, you go second level, oh, it's actually still working. If you do this, if you move it a bit here, it shows no data, right? What you have to do is you have to move it again a bit like this. And it should show now. This is a bug. I'm hoping to fix this soon, but it's gonna take some time due to the code. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think in general, this is very usable because in general, you want to export a trace and then analyze it yourself. But apart from that, yeah, just let me know if there's any questions, and thank you.